I'm joined now in the studio by Sultan Barakat, Professor of Public Policy at Hamad Bin Khalifa University. Good to have you with us again, Sultan.
Thanks.
Let's just talk about the decision by the High Court. Are we now looking at a real collision between the legal fraternity and courts and the government?
Yes, I mean, it's a major setback, particularly for Netanyahu, because he's pushed really hard to try and introduce these changes in the legal system within Israel, whereby the Supreme Court more or less become less independent and under the thumb of the government. And of course, Israeli population citizens have rejected this, and there were all these waves of protests and so on. And I think it will make a qualitative difference to them. But for the Palestinians, it won't make a huge difference, because the Palestinians are still governed under emergency occupation laws that the justice brought by the Supreme Council does not really apply to them. I think it's just another setback for Netanyahu, and it will probably help increase the questioning within the Israeli society of what he's been up to, that this is not the only faulty decision that he's backed. This war is another one.
Do you think he'll put that on the back burner while the war in Gaza takes priority at the moment, or do you think he'll bring it alongside it? Because if he does, the public themselves in Israel then have a problem of, you know, coming back out onto the streets again, while they're still supporting the government on a war in Gaza.
I don't think they will be able to come up on the streets in the masses they did in the past, because as long as the status of war persists, which he has introduced, as we said maybe in the past, is the first time Israel declares war since 1973. They invaded Lebanon without declaring war. It was always special operations. But by declaring war, he has changed the whole mechanism. The governance is in the hand of the mini cabinet, and they don't really have to follow all the checks and balances that usually exist in the system. And he can suspend a lot of that protest against him until the war in Gaza is over, and he has, you know, until he declares an end, a formal end to the war.
But it's certainly not ending in terms of the pressure that the government and, of course, Netanyahu face right now, because they have decided that they will attend the International Criminal Justice hearings, a petition by South Africa accusing Israel of genocide, specifically on this issue of Gaza and the war on Gaza. They couldn't avoid not attending these hearings, could they?
No, first as a member of the United Nations, and as we were saying before, they're very keen on being counted as a state. Addressing the court with respect is important for all states. And obviously, because South Africa approached under the Genocide Convention, of which Israel is a signature, one of the early signatories to the convention from August 1949, these two factors make it impossible for them to reject the court hearing as it happens. Now, I think the issue becomes on how they defend themselves, and to what extent South Africa and a very important international community is going to support South Africa in building the case and the evidence, including the non-governmental agencies, UN agencies, all the people who've witnessed what was going on over the last 3 months.
How difficult is it going to be to prove the case? Because legal loopholes can always exist, can't they? Are there loopholes here that Israel can use?
I mean, there's the only loophole is the fact that it's been at war. It has the right to defend itself. They have done every possible measure to reduce casualties. That's what I think what the Israeli defense is going to be. But given the way evidence has been documented, particularly on Al Jazeera and other TV channels, it's going to be difficult, I think, for them to walk away unscarred from this particular court.
We'll unpick more as the day progresses. Certainly what comes out of that cabinet meeting later on Al Jazeera. Thanks very much, Sultan. Thank you.